Good afternoon, everybody. Miss Kessel here. See, I never did get that last Three Little Pigs book read to you because I got pretty busy with that Thunder Cake competition. But I'm going to leave you with the last Three Little Pig book that I'm going to read for the week. The Three Little Javelinas. It's the Western version one that I was telling you about by Susan Lowell and illustrated by Jim Harris. I hope you enjoy it as we speed on to this wonderful weekend. I hope some of you guys have some fun plans out there. So, here's a little background story about this story, okay? This is a Southwestern adaptation of the familiar folktale, chili flavored, The Three Little Pigs. The story takes place in the Sonora Desert, so in a desert, where Native American, Mexican, and Anglo cultures blend together. So javelina comes from the Spanish name for a collared peccary, a New World relative of the swine, so a type of a pig. I might put a link on there about these picklary pigs, so javelinas. That ranges from the southwestern United States to the tip of South America, so the southern region of the United States. Javelinas are extremely bristly, very hairy on the chinny chin, and oddly enough, they are also related to the hippopotamus. In the American Southwest, another common local name for peccaries besides javelinas is wild pig. So this is the wild pig version of the Three Little Pigs, Southwestern style. Here we go. Once upon a time, way out in the desert, there were three little javelinas. Javelinas are wild, hairy, southwestern cousins of the pig. Their heads were hairy, their backs were hairy, and their bony legs, all the way down to their hard little hooves, were very, very hairy. But their snouts were soft and pink. One day, the three little javelinas trotted away to seek their fortunes. In this hot, dry land, the sky was almost always blue. Steep purple mountains looked down on the desert where the cactus forests grew. Soon the little javelinas came to a spot where the path divided, and each one went a different way. Well, the first little javelina wandered lazily along. He didn't see a dust storm whirling across the desert until it caught him. The whirlwind blew away and left the first little javelina sitting in a heap of tumbleweeds. Brushing himself off, he said, "I'll build a house with them." And in no time, he did. House of tumbleweeds. Ooh, kind of like that stick one. I don't think it'll be very strong. Here we go. Then along came a coyote. He ran through the desert so quickly and so quietly that he was almost invisible. In fact, this was only one of Coyote's many magical tricks. He laughed when he saw the tumbleweed house and he smelled the javelina inside. A tender, juicy piggy. Delicious. The coyote was tired of eating mice and rabbits. He called out sweetly, little pig, let me come in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin," shouted the first javelina, who had a lot of hair on his chinny chin. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," said the coyote. And he huffed and he puffed and he blew the little tumbleweed house away. But in all of the hullabaloo, the first little javelina escaped and went looking for his brother and sister. Coyote, who was very sneaky, tiptoed along behind. Here he comes. First house was a tumbleweed house. Oof, these pigs. Oh. Well, the second little javelina walked for miles. Giant cactus plants called sequoias were held. They held their ripe red fruit high in the sky, but they made almost no shade, and the little javelina grew so hot. Then he came upon a Native American woman who was gathering sticks from inside a dried up cactus. She planned to use these long sticks called sequoia ribs to knock down the sweet cactus fruit. The second little javelina said, Please, may I have some sticks to build a house? How, she said, which means yes in the language of the desert people. When he was finished building his house, he lay down in the shade. Then his brother arrived, panting from the heat, and the second little javelina moved over and made a place for him. Do you think they're going to be safe? The sign says, do not disturb. Well, pretty soon the coyote found the sequoia-ribbed house. He used his magic to make his voice sound just like another javelina's, and he said, little pig, let me come in. But the javelinas were very suspicious. The second one cried, No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Bah, said the coyote, I'm not going to eat your hair. Then the coyote smiled, showing all of his sharp teeth. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. So he huffed and he puffed, and all the sequoia ribs came tumbling away. But the two little javelinas escaped into the desert. Still not discouraged, Coyote followed. Sometimes his magic did fail, but then he usually came up with another trick. Tricky old Coyote. The native tales, Coyote is always the trickster, so that's kind of fun that the Coyote's the big bad wolf. The third little javelina trotted through beautiful Palo Verde trees. With green trunks and yellow flowers, she saw a snake gliding by, smooth as oil. A hawk floated round and round above her. Then she came to a place where the man was making adobe bricks from mud and straw. The bricks lay on the ground, baking in the hot sun. The third little javelina thought for a moment and said, May I please have a few adobes to build my house? Sí, answered the man, which means yes in Spanish, the brickmaker's language. So, the third javelina built herself a solid little adobe house, cool in the summertime and warm in the wintertime. When her brothers found her, she welcomed them and locked the door behind them. But Coyote followed their trail. Third smart little pig is a girl. Did you guys catch up on that one? Girls rule. Little pig, let me come in, he called. The three little javelinas looked out the window. This time Coyote pretended to be very old and weak, with no teeth and a short paw. But they weren't fooled. Not by the hair of our chinny chin chins, called back the three little javelinas. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow my house down, said the coyote, and then he grinned, thinking of the wild pig dinner that was gonna be coming next. Just try it, shouted the third little javelina. She's tough too. So Coyote huffed and puffed, but the adobe bricks did not budge. Again, Coyote tried. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow my house in, your house in. The three little javelinas covered their hairy ears, but nothing happened. The javelinas peeked out the window. The tip of the coyote's raggedy tail whisked right past their noses. He was climbing upon the tin roof. Coyote used his magic to make himself really skinny. The stovepipe, gasped the third little javelina. Quickly, she lighted a fire inside of her wood stove. What a feast this is gonna be, the coyote said to himself. He squeezed into the stovepipe. I think I'll eat them with red-hot chili sauce. Whoosh! Sizzle! Then the three little javelinas heard an amazing noise. It was not a bark. It was not a cackle. It was not a howl. It was not a scream. But it was all of those sounds together. Yip, 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 yow, whoa, 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 whoa. And he ran with a puff of smoke shaped like a coyote. Well, the three little javelinas lived happily ever after in the adobe house. And if you ever hear Coyote's voice way out in the desert at night, well, you know what he's remembering. The end. Cute story. Well, I'm going to take some time and try to find some more information about javelinas so you guys can learn some more and be really smart and stuff. But Maya asked me at Thunder Cake competition if I would keep reading throughout the summer, and I made the decision, and I told her I'll probably do a story read for you guys once a week. I think that's pretty good odds for the summertime. So I hope you guys will continue to listen to me throughout the summer. And I can't wait to see you on Monday because it's our kindergarten graduation day at Columbia Ridge. So with that being said, have a fantastic weekend. Love you guys. Be good to your parents. Don't be sassy. And have a nice day. Bye.